How long did you hold on to those cassettes? Did you?
Oh, I still have them.
But did you?
I had Pete Farrelly heard them, Brian Curry heard them.
Did you start writing this already in 92?
I had, over the years, I had lots of notes. I wrote treatments. I wrote sort of breakdowns of beginning, middle, ends. So I had a lot of material. So when I told Brian about it, he told Pete, I had a lot to start.
You were telling your dad you were definitely going to do this before he passed. You were.
Oh, he knew for my whole life, but he knew couldn't do it till after Dr. Shirley passed away. So that's why I never did it. I got approached a couple times to do it, and I even got told change the names. The story's so unbelievable. Change the names. But I didn't want to do that to him. And a couple of times I was broke, and I could have made a lot of money. I was with one time Brandon Tartikoff, president of Paramount. I'm in his office. So I'll do this right now. Let's do it. Who doesn't want to be with the head of Paramount? And I was like working in nightclubs. But I said, no, I promised the guy I wouldn't do it till after he passed. So I didn't want to do that, you know.
And you promised Dr. Shirley you would not do it till he went on to get married and stuff, correct? No, he stayed.
No, I think he was married like in the 40s or 50s.
Before the move, like he was telling them that he was married for 2 years with the music and whatever that fit. So
but then then he never got married. Not that I know.
Why didn't he want the story done till he was dead?
He didn't tell me. It could have been because of the gay thing, and I respect that because he was still from an era that, you know, I don't think he ever came out publicly about that. And if that was the reason, whatever the reason was, but that's what I just respected what he asked me.
So Nick, you went from Long Island Shark Attack,
New Jersey
to an Oscar and a Golden Globe. What advice do you have for young writers, if you have any?
Well,
did you take a writing course? Did you read a writing book, or you just looked at other scripts?
I looked at other scripts. I read books on writing. I read, the famous one, William Goldman's book, Adventures of the Screen Trade. I read later on Stephen King's book on writing, great book. But that was like later. When I first wanted to write a script, there was a book of screenwriting format. I just looked, that was a typewriter. I just looked at, okay, you put dialogue here, you put this here. And then I started looking at scripts. And I just said, okay, this is how they do it. Interior means inside, exterior means outside. I mean, it sounds stupid and simple, but when you don't know. And luckily, my father was doing some movies, so he'd bring scripts home for me. He'd say, read this, look at this, So he helped me and encouraged me in that way. So it was just kind of in me always to do it. But I would say to anyone doing it, don't give up. If ever anything, I've been doing this a long time, banging around forever. And, I hit this point. Now, so maybe all downhill from here, who knows?
Who the fuck knows?
But
it doesn't matter after this. Nick, it doesn't really matter. You made your point. Maybe it wasn't in the way you wanted it. Maybe you wanted to fuck Angelina Jolie in a movie. Maybe, but it didn't end like that. But you came a long way. You're a kid from Jersey and the Bronx that grew up on everything from Jailhouse Rock to fucking The Exorcist. And you got your shot. And it came through. And you wrote something that was deep in your heart. You kept to form. You didn't break no promises, and you didn't sell your soul along the way to make a script. Well, why don't you make his wife black and play the bongos? Because, as you knew when you were writing this, you run into a bunch of geniuses.
Yeah.
And they try to tell you, and it's so weird. I think it was Donnell Rawlings. I saw him on a radio interview on Twitter, and he was saying, when you get here as a comic, they tell you what to say. Your agents come up to you and say, you got to go up there and do material on the sitcom. And comics get fucked up. They get fucked up. They want to go up there and sell a TV show, so now they're talking about their grandmother and how, and you're like, last week you were talking about sucking some chick's fucking kazoos up a pussy, and now you're talking about your grandma and your fucking 3-year-old kid. And then they go away, and they realize they should have stuck to their guns. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the same thing happens with writers. I think the thing happened with you where you had this all your life, and you put it out there, and now it's a fucking thing, and your dad looks great. Your dad ended up looking beautiful.
I'm very proud of it. I can't be happier. I mean, make family proud. People see it, love it. I got to work with great people. I mean, Peter Farrelly, Viggo Mortensen, Mahershala Ali, Linda Cardellini, Sebastian. Everybody really involved in it cared about it. Everyone knew this was something
Johnny
special.
Roast Beef.
Johnny Roast Beef. Great scene.
Where'd you bump into him? Down at the fucking meatball place down there?
Well, I know him forever, and a good friend of my father's, and he was in Rayo's. I brought Peter Farrelly into Rayo's to see him, you know. And once Pete goes, we got to put him in the movie. I go, yeah, the guy eating the hot dogs. He goes, oh, of course, perfect guy for that. So it was nice. You know, I had some other friends and family. My brother's in the movie. My uncles are in the movie. The grandfathers are both my real uncles playing their own fathers in the movie. My brother plays Viggo's brother. So it was, Pete was very generous in that way, that he let me be creative with him and collaborate with him. He ended up picking everybody and doing everything, but he let me bring a lot to the movie. So it was great in that way. And you know what? Best picture, I got on stage. Julia Roberts handed me my Oscar and gave me a kiss. Who's better than that?
Nobody. One last thing about your dad. Your dad he's like in 4 of my favorite movies. I did not know he was in 29th Street.
Oh, yeah.
I did not remember. Now I remember exactly who he was. He gets shot in the beginning of the Year of the Dragon.
Yes.
I got the good shit.
Yes.
He has the cigar.
Yes,
He goes to the back
yes.
to Chinese kid. Fuck you and your cousin. You know who my fucking cousin is?
Exactly.
Fuck you and your fucking cousin. Little skinny fucking Chinese guy delivering spare ribs. And then that was an interesting movie. A lot of people don't know about that movie.
Yeah,
that was an interesting fucking
underrated movie. You know, written by Oliver Stone and directed by Michael Cimino. A very underrated movie.
Nobody talks about that movie anymore. Not at all. No. 29th Street, one of my all-time favorites.
George Gallo, the best.
One of my all-time favorites. Now, who was your dad in that? Louis the Lung or something?
Yeah, Louis Bad Lungs or something. He had a big sequence. I think most of it got cut out, but he's in there. They show him and they talk
Paulie
about
Walnuts, Vinnie Curto.
Yeah, a lot of guys from Sopranos.
Anthony Lampaglia, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Lampaglia.
Yeah.
The other kid that played his cousin was in The Sopranos at the end.
Yes.
He played one of the hitmen in season 7. He went after Silvio.
Yes.
I never saw that guy again. His cousin was connected.
Yes.
Remember in 29th Street, he would always go to people.
Yes. And 29th, it was Frank Pesch's true story.
Frank Pesch's true story.
Yeah. So
you still bump into Frank Pesch?
I still see him.
I just saw him about 6 months ago and gave him a hug somewhere. Where the fuck was it? You remember me? We did.
So he did it. He pulled it off, Frank Pesch. That was a great movie. I love that movie. Chaz pulled it off. Chaz made a movie, but Chaz was great to me, Palminteri, throughout this whole thing, because he was the only guy I could really talk about that was going through this on this level of a movie, that he did it, with his story too. So he was great to talk to, and he read the script. And actually, George Gallo made 29th Street and Chaz were the only 2 guys I gave the script to say, what do you guys think? And I loved it.
Man, I'm really happy for you. It was really good reconnecting with you.
Thank you. I hope we didn't bore your audience. This wasn't a laugh-filled
No.
You got to see a soft side of you that they don't normally get to see.
No.
And I said, what, did he run out of Italians to interview? Is that why there's nobody left in Hollywood?
I think that you're very interesting. I think your story was fucking sensational. You're the first Academy Award winner I've ever had in this motherfucking office.
Something.
And I thought I give you a lot of respect, Nick. I like what you did. I respect how much you love your dad. My dad died when I was 3. I wish, there's a lot of things about this movie that connected with me in a lot of different ways. My first friend when I came from Cuba was a black kid on 125th Street, and I didn't know anything about color. I still remember walking miles to go buy James Brown hot pants in 1969. And we were kids, walking on fucking Broadway in New York.
Wow.
And I didn't know I was supposed to be racist. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I didn't know. I didn't get that fucking memo as a Cuban that I wasn't supposed to like some fucking black kid. I found out over the years, and I'm like, why wouldn't I like this guy? So the movie just hit with me, and I think you're a sweetheart of a fucking guy. And I wish you all the luck in the world. You ain't got no more mob movies. I have no reason to have you here, but I still think you did a spectacular job.
Well, you never know.
And
you never know what I'm going to do.
Up your ass. So I'm happy you took time to come on.
I appreciate you having me. Everyone's telling me, I was saying I was doing your show, though. You are? The show's great. That's great.
No, we're going to have a great time. And I told you that I wanted to see, we never get to talk to Academy Award winning writers or whatever. So I want people to know that you're a guy from this podcast is about letting motherfuckers know they can do anything.
Yeah.
Don't let them hold you back. And you're a guy that you could have said, I'm from Jersey. Who the fuck's going to look at me? I'm from the Bronx. You're here, brother. So
thank you. I appreciate
it's been a long
that.
journey.
We're going in like fucking Marines. You understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.